Hey everybody, Mr. The Fanboy here. As you can see, I'm already sitting down. No intro, no musical intro for this video. This is my rant and review on Backlash 2018. As you can see, this right here was another boring and bland pay-per-view, at least in my opinion. I didn't watch everything on this card, so I'm only going to talk about what I saw and briefly talk about what I didn't see. And I turned the stream off before it was even over. Half Halfway towards the main event, I turned the stream off. And with that being said, let's get started right now. Like I said right here, this right here was one of the most boring pay-per-views I've ever seen. First off, one thing that already killed my interest in this pay-per-view going into this pay-per-view was since the website I go to watch all of my wrestling, boxing, and MMA, the website I go to watch all that stuff, since so many people were trying to go to that website to watch the live streams of this event, the website had to briefly shut down for an hour and 30 minutes. They didn't start till the website didn't become open again until 30 minutes after the event had already started at 8:30. 30 minutes after the event already started. I came in, so that right there killed my interest. And I was in the middle of a New Japan Pro Wrestling marathon in preparation for two big New Japan videos I'm planning right now. But I had to put that on hold. Because the website was shut down because of this stupid event right here. So that's number one. That was number one already. That already killed the event for me. But number two was the only reason I even watch WWE, and this is why I didn't do a predictions video. The only reasons I even watch WWE today is it was number one for the views. I am trying to get to a partnership, but they changed it again. At first it was 100 subs, now it's 1,000 subs. So I got a long way to go. Like I said, in the meantime, I'll try to find websites outside of YouTube. But let's continue. So that's number one. That's the only number, and WWE, sadly to say, is the most popular product out there. Watch this video right here get a bunch of views as soon as I'm done recording it and upload it to YouTube. The next reason the only reason I even follow WWE, I don't watch WWE. I read the results and watch the parts I want on the internet. My television right here, WWE is not shown in this household. It hasn't been in like a year. So continuing from what I said, the only segment is to support my favorite wrestlers. If TNA, New Japan, Ring of Honor, the Lucha Libre promotions, British Wrestling, if all these promotions still had all these wrestlers, I would never, ever bother watching WWE. If all those promotions had all of the stars here right now, all the stars they have. So and number three is WWE usually pay-per-views is usually when WWE usually has its best wrestling is around pay-per-views, but not tonight. Not tonight. Tonight was not one of those nights. We started the show off with a solid match between The Miz and Seth Rollins. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I like both of these wrestlers, character-wise and performance-wise, but Seth Rollins is an awesome wrestler. I've seen his indie work as Tyler Black, and he's a better character in WWE. However, he's an even worse wrestler. He has been terribly toned down for what he was on the indies. Then you got The Miz, who is better, but The Miz, a phenomenal character and an awesome performer and a workaholic outside the ring. I respect and admire The Miz, but his wrestling is abysmal. He's better than he used to be, but it's still is still abysmal. This was mostly a slow-paced brawl, a slow-paced choreographed brawl, which is my opinion. That's most of WWE's wrestling, and they stretched this stuff out for like a long time, making it even more boring, making it even more boring. Seth Rollins won with the weakest looking curve stomp, which the curve stomp is the dumbest finisher. I don't even remember what his Ring of Honor finisher was, but I remember it was better than the curve stomp. The curve stomp is one of the worst finishes ever. He won with a weak curve stomp. I skipped the rest of the card, including the Daniel Bryan Big Cass match. I'm a huge Daniel Bryan fan, but I have little interest in seeing him wrestle right now. He's been injured and out so long that I don't care. And another problem I have with Daniel Bryan wrestling now is that due to how severe his injury was, this is the same kind of cringe I got when Kurt Angle was still wrestling in his final days in TNA, that he could get severely hurt, and injured in that ring. So you don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. Then wrestling a super big wrestler like Kaz. So this was probably from what it sounded like. I was watching something else while this match was on. While this match and many other matches were on, but it sounds like this was match of the night, one of the matches of the night. So yeah. Next match, I skipped the New Day Elias Sampson segment. Why was this on a pay-per-view? The various women's matches I didn't care much for. AJ Styles and Nakamura after the crap fest I saw at WrestleMania 34. I have no interest in seeing either one of these two guys wrestle each other. I want to see AJ Styles wrestle Brock Lesnar again, Randy Orton, Jeff Hardy, Shelton Benjamin. Hell, I'll even watch his matches with Cena again, because at least that was a better feud than the Nakamura stuff. The Cena and AJ Styles matches at the time I saw them, especially the second one at Royal Rumble from last year, were good. But then I saw Wrestle Kingdom 11 and all of the Awesome Okada matches, and I'm not a fan of those matches anymore. But those are better than the Nakamura AJ Styles crap fest. You got both of these guys doing what they did at Ring of Honor and New Japan, and thinking that still flies in WWE. I didn't even care that it was a last man standing match. So yeah, unless AJ Styles wrestles those guys, I'm boycotting his matches, and I actually want him out of WWE, because I just think AJ Styles sucks down as a shell of what he once was. He lives off of what he did 10 to 15 years ago, the awesome stuff he did with Daniels and Joe, which that was a long time ago, and he has not produced anything remotely close to that since. And yeah. So yeah, that's why I don't like. So yeah, that's the problem I have with AJ Styles and what's his name. Then of course Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton. This was one of the matches of the night. Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton. This was one of the matches I was actually looking forward to. This and the Intercontinental title matches were two of the matches I was looking forward to. This was the United States title match. Great match between two awesome, ruthless aggression era stars. This should have been a three-way. That's my only problem. Shelton Benjamin should have been added to this card. I loved the feud and the build-up to this match. Shelton Benjamin should have been a part of this match. The double main events. You got the first one, this was the third match I tuned into this pay-per-view to see. That was my man Bobby Lashley, and of course my other man Braun Strowman taking on Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. And this match was good up until the BS they pulled at the end when Sami Zayn, trying to run away, and instead of going to the back, staying out. First off, yes, Sami Zayn tossed Owens in there, and they beat up Owens, and Owens then escapes. Then Owens instead of both of them leaving, Owens tricks Sami Zayn and throws him in there, and Sami Zayn slaps Owens and then leaves again. And Owens, instead of getting out the ring, says, "You're gonna slap me and leave again. You're gonna slap me and leave again." And Braun Strowman and Lashley just destroy Kevin Owens. Just destroy Kevin Owens. Then Sami Zayn stays out there long enough. He stays out there long enough to give, even after they're done celebrating with their entrance music, he stays out there. He stays out there long enough to get himself beat up. Strowman comes out, gets him. Strowman comes out, gets him, and throws him in the ring and knocks him out with a power slam. Power slam. So, like I said, cringeworthy scene. It was a good match up until the cringeworthy ending, and you just buried Owens and Zayn. Yeah, and unlike Rollins, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, they're the rare representation of two wrestlers who are better in WWE than they were in the Independents. In the Independents, the first time I saw both of them was 2008 in PWG, and I thought they were two comedy jobbers. It wasn't until I saw their year-long feud, which was the only thing good these two ever did, was their year-long feud in 2009 when Owens shockingly turned on Sami Zayn, or El Generico at the time. But these two, wrestling character-wise, they're way better in WWE than they were ever in the Independents. You got Seth Rollins, who is a better character, but he's a worse wrestler. You got Daniel Bryan, who is an even worse character, and while still being a good wrestler, he's not the wrestler he was on the independent circuit. I like Daniel Bryan. I like the American Dragon persona. He has a better name in WWE. I think Daniel Bryan is much better than Bryan Danielson, but the American Dragon persona is way better than the beard and yes movement. Yes movement. So, yeah. Then you had the main event with Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns, which I was somewhat looking forward to. Because Joe's promo is how I feel about Reigns, how he's a hypocrite, how he has failed the people, and how he is just a failure. Like Joe said, said his promos on Reigns were pretty good. And actually, like I said, I don't like Joe, but I like several parts of his career, and I do like the way WWE is using him. I think he's much better and fits in better in WWE than he ever did in TNA. And this was a good match, but it went on way too long, and I just lost interest and turned off the stream. And according to Wikipedia, Roman Reigns defeated Samoa Joe, so someone else fed to the Roman Reigns machine. So, like I said, another lackluster, boring pay-per-view. At least that's my opinion on Lords of Pain, which I always visit after I get done watching these pay-per-views to see the reception. It appears to be mixed as always, but for me, I gotta give this a failing grade. Another boring, lackluster pay-per-view that you could have just put on television. It would not have been any different, man. Yeah, so this was your 2018 Backlash review. No music or anything because not in the mood. This show was just boring. All right, I'm done.